Sigma Sound Studios was something I was involved with at, was it around 2004. I was there for about 6 months. I worked directly for the new owner, Mario Santoro. But I've always had a relationship with Sigma. I knew Joe Tarsia. Just kind of, he knew me, I knew him. I wouldn't say we were close friends. But after I worked there in 2000 and was it four, we became close friends because they made me the studio manager and I ran the pro audio division out of that place. That's what they wanted to try doing. And I met with Joe and I really didn't know all the history of Sigma. And Joe said, you got to come over to my house. And I got a bunch of pictures and all that, and I'll explain everything to you. So I went over to his house in New Jersey, and he gave me crates of pictures and awards and videos that he had. And he says, you go through these, and then he explained to me the whole history of that. So I became very well educated about the history of Sigma. And me and Joe became very, very good friends. Me and him, we put a direct box together. He had made a direct box that they used to record everything through Sigma. And I found old new stock of the transformers that he used. And actually, Doug Fern from DW Fern helped me sort out getting the casings and the screws and getting the silk screen and painting and all that. And we made 50 of them. And Joe signed all 50 of them. And Joe didn't think we were going to sell any. And we sold all of them. And it was one project he really loved doing. And his son, Mike Tarsia, really encouraged me to keep doing this with Joe. It kind of gave him something interesting to do. I mean, the man's a legend, but this was an interesting thing. And he would tell me stories, too, that were very interesting. He told me we would do these meetings for the Philadelphia recording community at a studio that was a church down in South Philly. And he said, I grew up on that street. And I said, I didn't know that. And he says, that tree down in front of the one house, he says, I used to hide my cigarettes in there when I was a teenager. I think it was teenager. And I found a picture because you could get a picture of the street view, and I made I took a snapshot of it and I sent it to Joe, and I said, "Is that the tree?" He says, "Yep, that's the tree." So he told me all these stories like that were funny. But Sigma, when I was there, they decided the business was dying down. They wanted to redo it, and the owner said, "Well, let's get some studio designers in here." And I put the call out for studio designers to come in. We had like the who's who of studio. We had Studio Bowtown. We had Pilsner Schuster. We had, there's a bunch of guys. I still have the drawings too from each one of them, which were really interesting what they wanted to do. And they decided that they were going to gut the whole top floor that had the A room. And they were going to redo the control room and make it all surround mixing and tracking and all that. But what happened is the owner there, he kind of ran out of money. He gutted the whole place and ran out of money, and they just made a big room upstairs. And what they eventually did, because I left after about 6 months because it just didn't make sense. The commute was 2 hours away each way, and I just couldn't take it anymore. But the downstairs room, they gutted that and they put an SSL duality in there, and so it was a smaller version of the studio. So all the rooms got gutted, and there was nothing original left from Sigma anymore. And what eventually happened is the owner there, Mario, he sold it, I think, to a bank, and then a bank sold it to some investors. And what happened is they had some water damage from rain, something like that. And they collected on the insurance for all the gear because it was all damaged. And the place all got gutted and then was sold again. And it was sitting there idle. And now, from what I understand, it's been, some of it's been sold off and made into condos, and the rest of it I think that's going to be done. But one of the things that Joe always wanted, he always wanted to raise the ceiling. He told Mario, and he told a lot of people, because he just wanted a bigger sound, and he had to simulate that with tape delays. And he actually had a room and the guys had the tape delays down in the basement, and that's all their job was to do, was keep those delays going. But they made those roofs higher. The Mario, who owned a construction company, they took the roof off and made it higher, and that made Joe happy. But they never finished off what they wanted to do. So you can see there's another video I have of some of the drawings of Sigma, originally what it looked like. I'll find the drawings of the new Sigma if people are interested. Just put it in the messages. Let me know if you want to see them. I'll dig them up. But that was kind of my history with Sigma. I did take my own Pro Tools system down there because they didn't have a Pro Tools when I started. But interesting thing, their air conditioning stopped working, and the owner didn't want to fix the air conditioning because he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know if he was going to redo the place. So we were renting out the studio with no air conditioning. It was just crazy because it was hot in there. But people were still renting the place. But it wasn't doing the business that it used to. So there's my Sigma story.